Great. So first of all, warm welcome to all of you and heartiest congratulations. It's a great feeling to be a CA. I'm sure you guys were extremely excited when you saw your results. And after that, the moment that excitement transpires into actionable points for you, that's when the question comes up. What's next? Ab kya karna hai? So we are fortunate to have the three panelists here, and we'll try and cover maximum points which gives you insights into what can be done in the future. I can come. So most of us, even when I just qualified as a chartered accountant, we fall into this trap of trying to understand what we want to do. And there are three avenues that typically come up, as a chartered accountant, that we want to get into practice. As we took a poll, you want to take a job, which is more than 50% of the crowd here today. And then there are new age opportunities that come up. So with that, I would like to understand from the three of you, and you can share that for the crowd, on what were your journey when you guys qualified, and how did you think of taking it forward? Vipul bhai, you can start with Vipul bhai.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you, WRC, Ketan bhai, Secretary, Vice Chairman, and everyone for having us here to share our thoughts with the young chartered accountants. Congratulations to all of you for having passed your CA exam. Now the question which is asked by Saumil is, how do you decide as to what should be done after qualifying? So I will take you to my journey. I qualified in 1985, when none of you were born, perhaps. So 1985, when I qualified, Indian economy was not all that great. It was still a developing economy. The economy had not opened up. So when a chartered accountant passed, there were only two options. Either you go in practice or you take up a job. Now those days, jobs were not, giving you so much of remuneration which is being offered now. So those days, a chartered accountant starting his practice and chartered accountant joining industry would be earning the same amount. The gap which you see today was not there. In those days, the practice was a preferred option. So most of, I would say 50–60% of those who were qualifying as chartered accountant were opting to go in practice. And, when I joined CA, I had decided that I'll do my practice. So it was a, thought which had gone in my mind when I started my articleship. So it was decided beforehand only. Just to, share with all of you that I am a person with science background. I have not done my commerce. I did my BSc and then joined CA. So that is one change, but I was quite determined that being a science student, I passed my CA entrance in first attempt, so I was quite confident that I will be able to do CA. So that is the background. Now coming to you, what you should be deciding. I think I would just like to give the perspective of the current scenario of practice. I don't know how many of you are aware that about 60% of those who are in practice are in the age profile of 50+ bracket. So 10 years down the line, there is going to be a huge vacuum of good chartered accountants in practice. So if you really ask me, practice is a very good option for all of you. The only, challenge which you all have to have is that, you need to have a lot of patience. Because if you go in for practice, you may be earning maybe 50,000, 75,000, or a lakh of rupees per month, and your peer who joins industry may be starting with 15 lakhs a year. So there will be a comparison between what the other person is earning and what you are earning. But I think you should think long term, which I also did when I started my practice. So I think practice is a very good option, but the mindset also is very, very important. Hard work is the basic quality which you need to have when you go in practice. you should be updated about what is happening in the profession, and patience. I think if you have these three quality, I think you should go in for practice. Startup is the buzzword. So I would say that if you start your practice, it's a startup which you are setting up in that sense, because it's nothing but a new venture that you are starting. And if there is a person who is, willing to finance you, or maybe if your father is willing to finance you for your business setup, I think you should be doing it. And there is also one way of, starting your practice, that you tie up with a firm which needs chartered accountants, because there is a shortage of chartered accountants in industry as well as in CA firm. So if a person has shortage of staff and is willing to take you as part-time, then you join him as part-time or as a professional and set up your own practice. So that is how you could start. So basically, to summarize Saumil's question, I just shared as to how I decided to go in for practice, because that was the in thing at that point in time. And if you want to set up your practice or go in industry, I think mindset is very important, and other inputs I have given.
Yes, thank you so much, Vipul Bhai, for the insight and to showcase how you took that step, and also giving them a platform on what is happening today. Can we have Jain sir to come in at this point to showcase his journey, and then Sanjeev Bhai?
The one thing which was missed in his introduction is that he is a rank holder. I think you missed that part.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vipul Bhai. Thank you, Somal. And I would like to thank Chairman and the team of WRC. For the young CAs, see, for me, it was very easy to decide what is to be done in life. When I qualified in 1994, as Vipul Bhai mentioned, the size of the economy was very small. 94, the GDP of the country was 330 billion only. Now it's about 4 trillion. So compared what was the size of GDP of the country was about 8% of what it is today. So basically, after getting the rank in CA, qualifying company secretary, cost accounting, I applied in the few of the companies. Then I got to know actually, because in those days, the salary range was from 4,000 to, and the highest was 10,000 rupees per month. जो भी articles को जितना मिलता ना, we were getting the same amount after getting the ranks.
I started with salary of 1,000 rupees, just for information.
So after I qualified, I thought it's not in my DNA. See, basically everyone has got a own DNA. Basically, what is to be decided is to be decided by your own DNA. Because the people who would love to do job, the people who would like to do courage and start practice, the people like me will venture into a different sector. So so you need to judge your DNA. So basically, I started my practice in 1994 because I said it's only option which I am having, because it's better to do a job 10,000 rupees rather than that do the practice. And I was lucky enough to start a good practice. I developed a very good practice. Then I became the council member in 97 after 3 years. Then basically after that I accepted to consultancy. And that gave me the good avenues of earning. And then I kept on moving on the ladder. Then 2005, there was an opportunity in the market. So I started real estate practice, real estate development. Initially 5 years, I've done the consultancy for the real estate, because the SURFACE and the DRT Act was introduced in 2000. So basically, I've supported in buying the properties to many builders from the banks and the institutions. So then I also learned the art of game, how to purchase the property from the bank. So I started buying the property and selling in the market. Then I also understood instead of selling in the market, let us develop the properties. So the first property which I constructed, the building was sold to the India Infoline. Their head office is a building which I constructed in 2007-8. So this is how we started our journey. But for the youngster who was sitting over here, I would like to tell you, now India has now changed now. Now GDP is about 4 trillion. It was 330, now it's 4 trillion. So last 31 years, it has grown by 12 times now. And we expect 31 years down the line, if we take the example of 2056, we expect the economy to be at least 12 times bigger than what we have today. Today we have 4 trillion, and the estimates which are there in the market by the big consultancy firms is about more than 50 trillion. So basically, you are also going to get the same opportunity. I would like to tell you, you are the luckiest person. You qualified at the right time when India is growing. So there are many opportunities available in the market. So अभी आपको ये decide करना है, because now there are many opportunities available in the market, in the practice, in the consultancy, in the industry, as well as in the business. Because I'll tell you, there are many CAs who separate to business. They are doing a fantastic job. They have been doing extremely good job, because we are suited for everything. I'll tell you. Like in my company, I'll tell you, I have employed many CAs, because and I'm putting them on the various jobs, because CA can do all kind, because we are very good at mathematics. We know like how to run the business, how to earn the money, how to do, because we are fit for the legal. I'll give my example. I'm in this real estate for the last 20 years. I've become architect. I can tell you, like, I'm as good as one of the best architect. I also become engineer, because I acquired the skill, because after becoming CA, you got a basic skills like basically mathematics is very fast. And apart from this, like legal background is with us, so we can suit to any kind of business. So I will strongly recommend you, if you would like to start a business, you can start a business, because we are the best suited. Secondly, I'll tell you, there are many opportunities available in the consultancy field. Because as the country grows, there are many people are looking for the various kind of consultancy. I'll give an example, like basically, there are people like who are doing the MPC job. Like for example, now India, there's a lot of, in Mumbai, there's a lot of pollution. So they have introduced the pollution control regulation. So there's a great demand of the consultant. Like for example, if 100, 200 CS start the MPCB consultancy, there is a huge avenues available in the MPC. Similarly, like for example, MOEF, Ministry of Forest and Environment. Now every building which is more than 2 lakh square feet, they need the MOEF approval. So if someone can start the work, you make a group of 2-3 people, start the work. So likewise, I just gave few examples. There are n number of examples available, because as the country grows, many avenues are available to you. So apart from the practice is one, second could be industry, third could be your own business, because if your parents are having a business, or like for example, if someone is offering you business, join them, I'll tell you, because you can do wonders in the business. And the fourth, the big avenue which is opening in the country is the consultancy field of the various kind of consultancy. Don't go into financial. Financial is only one part. The n number of consultancies which can be done by the chartered accountants. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I think that's great insight. And what I also take home from what sir has said is, we are obviously equipped to do all the things, but we still need to build skills as we grow and keep growing in the field that we pick up for. So thank you so much, sir, for this input, and this really helps us. Sanjeev bhai, can we have your take on your first steps, and then can I also ask you to add a little bit on how you've seen the industry versus practice in the last 30 years?
Thank you, Saumil. Thanks to the office bearers and the members of the regional council for having us over here to share our views. And I have qualified between both of them in 91. So let us put it this way, we were not spoiled for choices like you are today. Okay, we had a very, very simple thing to choose, and it's very simple to choose when you have little choices. And at that point of time, possibly practice made more sense, and today I don't regret it. So, yeah, when I qualified Vipul bhai's time, about, you would have heard this in old Golmaal. How many of you have seen the act? Yeah, old Golmaal, the salary is 700, 800 rupees. Vipul bhai 85, so 83 to 85, 200 rupees increment. So by the time I qualified, it was 1250, 1750. There were no big fours of that time. There were none, I believe. They were there in some form, but not the way in which they are today. And industry, I think, we desired independence, in that sense at that point of time. And possibly, let me ask you one question over here, because you have, this question doesn't keep on popping once you complete any post-graduation. This keeps on popping every time you are at some stage in life. What after 10th? You must have dealt with that question. What after 12th? You dealt with that question. What after BCom? You dealt with that question. And now you are at a juncture where you are actually coming to a professional life. So what after this? I think the choice would depend. One would or come to a conclusion based on one's liking. I think it's not proper to only base your choice on the remuneration part itself. I think that's how we were more happy to be independent. We wanted to continue in the practice, and we were not spoiled for choices like you are today, and we don't regret it. I think we have reasonably done well for ourselves from where we were. I think that's how I can put it.
Sure, thank you so much, Sanjeev bhai. Can I ask, Vipul bhai and the two panelists to just add a little bit for the audience on what are other opportunities? We raised hands earlier when Piyush bhai, asked the poll, and we saw majority as industry, and then certain amount of practice, and then certain unsure. So, what are other avenues that can come up? And Jain sir, while we are at it, I would also like if you can share your experience as part of the Consulate of Namibia on what your experience was as a third party to our students. So I think we can just touch upon that apart from routine activity.
Thank you, Sumal. The first, basically, Sumal has said, I have also been appointed as the honorary consulate of Namibia in Mumbai. So we have very close connection with all the African consulate in the government of the entire continent. So like any of you would like to pursue your career in African continent, maybe in practice, maybe in industry, I would be able to help you out. My office is there, my team is there. So we can connect to the government on the people or the companies corporate over there. Namibia is my country, but we are in close connection with all the African countries. Second, rightly, like he said, between the practice and the industry, like what are the opportunities which can be encased. I'll tell you, like Basil, whatever you do, you must deep dive into the whatever you're doing. See, I'll give you example. Like for example, in the industry, the enormous opportunities available. Because as the country grows, the size of companies are going to grow multifold. Now the economy, which is 4 trillion, is going to become 50 trillion, maybe in 25 years, 30 years. So there are going to be large kind of opportunities, but what you need to do, enjoy your work, whatever you are doing now, you must deep dive, because normally, हम क्या होते हैं? Now office like, there are two kind of staffs. हम मस्ती में कहते हैं, there are people like who just come, bring tiffins, खाना लेके आते हैं, खा के चले जाते हैं. And they are only concerned with their salary. They have one set of people. The other set of people, like basically, they are owning the ownership of your business. Wherever you're working now, they take the entire responsibility of what they have been working. So basically, now you need to decide कि आपको किस कैटेगरी में आना है. अगर खाली आपको सैलरी से कंसर्न है, then you are not going to grow in life. आप जहाँ पे है, then you will be happy with what you are having. टिफिन लेके आओ, खा के जाओ, चले जाओ. This is what. But if you want to grow in life, deep dive into the industry. I'll tell you how the opportunities can come. If you are working for an industry, if you are helping them, you are going to get many opportunities. See, basically क्या होता है? The owners, entrepreneur, if he feels कि this person is very important for me, he will keep you, you will rise on the cadre. You will rise on the ladder, for example. I'll give you an example of my company, my organization. I'll just take 2 more minutes. I got 3 people working with me of the same age, the Ola 30 years. One is a CSCFA, ex-JP Morgan, worked in the investment banking. The second employee of mine is the engineer from Mumbai and the MBA from the New York University, got a 5 years experience in USA. And the third employee of mine is only BCom. You'll wonder, the third one is only BCom, is drawing the double or more than double salary of these 2 kind of people. I'll tell you why. Because he's taking the ownership. See, qualification will only give you beginning. It will not give you a destination. How much efforts you are putting at job, how much vigilant you are, how much support you are giving to the company will decide your fate in the industry. So for the young people, I'll request you, enjoy working. Put your hard work into the company's businesses. Company का business बढ़ेगा. If you become the part of your growth story of your company, आपका salary कुछ भी हो सकता है. Because many people are getting ESOPs. Why? Many of my friends, You go to ESOP, it's in the like few crores, maybe more than 100 crores, because they could become the part of the company's growth story. So basically, if you're doing a practice, please you join the industry which basically wherever you feel comfortable, which excites you. Yes, यहाँ पे मैं काम कर सकता हूँ, यहाँ पे मैं काम कर सकती हूँ. You only join those industries, and then try to become part of the growth story of the company. Now, second, if you're doing practice, I'll give example. Like practice में there are many opportunities, because in the practice you come across many people, like many of your businessmen. And एक चीज़ जो सबसे important life में, the ethical practice, honesty, integrity. अगर life में अगर आपको आगे बढ़ना है, I can give you my example. अगर आप में ऑनेस्टी नहीं है, इंटीग्रिटी नहीं है, फेथफुल नहीं है, तो आप प्रैक्टिस करो, इंडस्ट्री करो, आप आगे नहीं बढ़ जाएंगे, आप आगे बढ़ नहीं सकते हो. सो इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर इन लाइफ. यू हैव टू बी वेरी फेथफुल टू योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, योर क्लाइंट, नंबर वन. ऑनेस्टी, इंटीग्रिटी एंड द कपल विद हार्ड वर्क. अगर आप ऑनेस्टी से काम करेंगे, आई कैन टेल यू, आपके मान लो 100 क्लाइंट्स है, आउट ऑफ 100 दे आर गोइंग टू ऑफर 1 or 2 क्लाइंट विल कम फॉरवर्ड एंड विल टेल यू, become part of my business, join my business, become partner with me, let us grow the business together. So these kind of opportunities are available in the market. So practice में आपको बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग मिल जाएंगे, and wherever you feel comfortable कि यार आपका एक client अच्छा काम कर रहा है, there is a growth story which can take place, you can support them, go with them. देखिए आपके practice को संभालने के लिए काफ़ी लोग मिल जाएंगे. We got many of our colleagues, they will come with us. आपका practice आप किसी को सौंप दो, तो वो आपका चलता रहेगा. At the same time, you can also try with the businesses of your clients. So practice one is big opportunity. Like see, basically, I'm very sorry to say here, sir, it's very close, because 95% of chartered accountant in practice are not doing ethical practice. This is very sorry state of affair. Therefore, they are not able to grow in life. There are very few people like Vipul Choksi, very few people like Sanjeev Lalan, who are very ethical practice, but there are very few of them. We can count them in numbers. So you have to be very ethical, honest, very faithful to your clients. I can guarantee you, I can challenge you, you will get many opportunities. It will take 2-3 years more. Initially आपको 2-3 साल ज़्यादा लगेगा, because पैसा कम बनेगा, is fine. But जब पैसा बनेगा ना, बहुत बड़ा बनेगा. Because एक बार faith अगर आपके पास में आएगा ना, the kind of job which you will get. I'll give my example. When I was into practice, I told my clients, they offered me, well, come with me, we'll put the money for you. They both have become partners, and they put in the hundreds of crores with me, because they could vouch for me. Yes, this person is ethical, honest. यहाँ पे हमारा पैसा safe है. So we started business like this. So this is my humble advice to all of you. Do the very ethical practice. If you are going into practice, be faithful, be honest, be very ethical. You'll get many opportunities. India की growth story बहुत बड़ी है, and I'm very hopeful. I'll tell you, because I'm into business. So we come across many people. जो growth India की हो रही है, I think it's a rare opportunity any country gets. It's I can narrate with the like what USA did in 1980s, what China did in like 20 years back. The same growth story now we are having in India, and you're going to become part of that story. So become ethical, become honest, become faithful, do hard work. You're going to get success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jain sir. This is what we say is experience from both sides, where Jain Saab can tell you that ultimately you need to get into your drive that pulls you to do ethical practice, and you will succeed in any form. But we'll have Vipul Bhai and Sanjeev Bhai share a little bit about the practices, what options you have within practice and what options you have within the industry as a new age career as part of the activity. Please, Vipul Bhai.
See, basically, when you start your career in industry, I think your job profile would be, maintenance of accounts or maybe preparing MIS for the management, etc. So when you start your career as a chartered accountant, I think you have limited option as to which sector you want to go. But if you have decided that, if you like BFSI, that is banking, financial service and insurance sector, then you join a company which is having that as their business domain, and then develop in that area. If you like entertainment industry, then you go in entertainment companies, Star or Star Plus or Sub TV or whatever, and then grow in that company. So you develop that as your specialize. NBFC, of course, it is part of BFSI, but NBFC also is an area where a lot of things can be done. So as far as industry is concerned, infrastructure segment is doing excellently well, manufacturing sector. So you first of all need to decide as to if you want to join industry, which sector you like. So that sector which you like, you join that sector and then develop in that sector, because initially when you join a company, your profile would be maintenance of accounts, finalization of accounts, taxation, etc. But once you develop, maybe if you are graduating to CFO level, then you will be a specialist in that field. So that is how you should decide if you go in for industry. As far as practice is concerned, I think a lot of opportunities. ESG is a new thing which is of course applicable to only certain companies, but going forward it is going to be mandatory for all the companies. So that is one area. Then risk management is one area where you could develop. I don't know how many of you have done your articleship in audit firm. Can you raise your hands? Yeah, many of you.
Large number.
So if you have done, I am just thinking of this because having practiced for so many years, mid-sized firms and small firms, they struggle for documentation. So if you have done a practice, your articleship in a firm which is audit firm, then I'm sure you would be aware about the documentation system. You would be aware about the IFC. So there are small firms and mid-sized firms which are struggling to maintain their documents, which are struggling to verify IFC, etc. So this could be an area. This is just my thought. I have been thinking about it because there is so much of dearth of good chartered accountants that we hunt for young chartered accountants who are in practice and then tie up with them for such areas. Then CSR. Now, charitable trust has become so complex. So you could be a specialist in charitable trust along with CSR. Insolvency, bankruptcy code. Insolvency is an area where, of course, you need to have experience of 10 years plus to be an insolvency professional, but you can always, tie up with a person who is into insolvency practice. And it's a very interesting field because in insolvency, what happens is that, once you become a resolution professional, you step into the shoes of the management. You become the CEO of the company. So if you are tying up with a resolution professional, you become part of his team and you manage the company independently. So that's an interesting field. So I think these are some of the initial thoughts about the areas which you could develop in practice. And information technology, yes, very important area. Where information technology, I think no practicing chartered accountant or nobody can survive without information technology. So I think this is one area where you could develop system audit, etc. Where an AI, the use of AI in practice. So you, as a practicing chartered accountant, could develop this as a niche area. Of course, you have to invest time, you have to do a lot of research, and then I think if you can market yourself as if you are specializing in that area, I think it should do good to you. These were my thoughts. Sanjeev can add to it.
Thank you, Vipul bhai. Please, Sanjeev.
Yeah. So before I would come to the choices which are available or choice, how do you proceed to make? And that is more important question. Choices, possibly many of you are more aware today, being very savvy with the information that you get. The very important aspect which I will articulate, of course, Balchandji spoke about it, but if I have to articulate it, it would be more like, what is the enthusiasm for you? What enthuses you? What creates a mozo for you? That's very important. Second is whether you will be able to be dedicated to that, whatever you choice you make. Will you be able to do it with dedication over a longer period of time? And that is where the biggest challenge comes in. Because our attention spans, our likings, what we see around, maybe sometime it is not a linear progress that you make in any field that you choose. There's always a up and down graph in whatever you choose. So will you be able to keep yourself dedicated to all those up and downs which will come on the way to whatever you choose, be it industry, practice, again, whatever area within them you choose, whether that dedication level you are able to commit right now for those areas. That should be our second most important factor in making your choice. And third, very important thing is, if you want growth, success, happiness, then your value systems, ethics is part of that value system. It's one of the part of that value system. But your value system will stand in good stead throughout your life, because that will create your individual brand. Because ultimately, when you have to succeed in life, your individual brand, Vipul Bhai, yes, I know him. His value systems are great. They will not do any hanky-panky. In fact, there is any problem, he will come and tell me upfront, भाई आ तू करे छे खोटू छे और आप ये जो कर रहे हो गलत है, ये ऐसे नहीं हो सकता है. You know, that courage you need to say. Because most of the time people we see, they behave goody-goody. But when you have a proper value imbibed in you, your ethical senses are very right. You will go and tell a person what is the, you have an ability to call spade a spade. I think these are some factors which will take you up into next level. And once you have built a brand in anything that you are doing, I think success follows that. So now when we come to making choices, I think don't go by what the herd mentality is. You evaluate, take time to evaluate on these three basic conditions, that yes, this is what creates an enthusiasm within me. This is where I can dedicate myself over a long period of time. Try to also evaluate the future of whatever you are selecting in long term, how it is going to go, the path that it is going to take. Because today the world is very fluid. Everything has a very, very short life also. I think you may have to do course corrections midway, even in whatever field that you choose. So you'll have to be very, very careful while making the choice. What are the course correction measures that you can take, that you will have to plan for? I mean, maybe you can't predict the future so fast, but yes, some of these things are really, really visible to all of us. And of course, your value system is most important aspect. Now, when we come to choices, for example, practice or industry, whatever field you choose, or even entrepreneurship, understand the working style will be the same. So suppose if you are going in a taxation department of an industry, or you are going into a ESG department of a company, I think you will get some part of it, or you may get a whole part of it. One doesn't know, it will depend on the size and the outlook of the industry concerned or the company concerned. You'll have to start making decisions there also like a practitioner. What is expected of you? What can you contribute to that? What value you are going to add? And this you can do only if you have liking for that. If you don't have liking and you are just going just because somebody is going into investment banking, I will also want to go into investment banking, that doesn't make sense. It can create frustrations at times, because investment banking, let me tell you, today the growth story is very, very big, and lot of structuring, restructuring, everything is happening. Maybe there could be, and you may be ending nights also in doing whatever work, and it will be something very, very great for you initially. But you have to maintain that level of enthusiasm. Then are you willing to do that dedicatedly? Or if you are going in some, if you like something, you will always dedicate your time. So that is how I would look at it when you are going to make choices. So what is that is giving you a kick, that is very important. You know, ये भी एक नशा है, काम भी एक नशा होता है. Are you willing to go into that nasha? That is something very important. It's not nasha in the form of what we call about alcohol or any other drugs, but it is also, you know, something which is very important for some people. And I think that is something very important for every one of us. Finally, you have to find your path through that to the life. I think that is how you will make a choice of ESG. Yes, very great opportunities, because And it can be very, very, satisfying field because you are doing something which is very important if you take from social angle. Because you can have great opportunity in contributing in ESG if you look at overall social angle. NPOs, which Vipulbhai talked about, and there are a lot of opportunities in structured NPOs today because there are a lot of HNIs, lot of family businesses, lot of family-owned offices which are planning to come big way into hospital sector or the healthcare sector as it is told today. The whole hospitalization has gone into healthcare mode. So maybe new age names, but so lot of things, education, for example, lot of opportunities and people are willing to spend. There is money into it, but ultimately if you have to contribute, as Balchandji rightly said, between three set of people, a overqualified person may not be able to deliver what a BCom or even a person who is not very highly qualified will be able to give unless he has that happiness in doing what he wants to do. I think you should be guided by that. In practice also, while making a choice, I think Vipulbhai made a very, very valid point. And let me tell you the whole scenario in which we are looking at audit today and what it will be tomorrow is going to undergo a lot of changes. Possibly not right times for the way in which we started or Balchand started practice in a small way as a individual practitioner. That may not be possible. But I think that doesn't make any, that should not be a cause for worry also. Unless of course you want to set up something really different from whatever the existing firms are doing. But auditing is also going to undergo a sea change over the next 5 to 10 years. That is what I look at. Even the accounting standards possibly will need to be looked at from the changing economic scenario at present. So accounting itself, and let me tell you, auditing, sometimes we look at it only from point of compliance, but it can give lot of value addition to your client. You can give lot of value addition to the client from auditing perspective, because that is for every transaction there are certain steps which are required. Within that you will definitely find risk, opportunity to save money, to make money, everything. And that is where you can really add value to your clients' businesses, remaining in audit also. Risk is another area which I think with the technology more and more possibly opportunity in terms of the integrations that are taking place in the systems. The systems of data delivery, the way in which the data flow happens in the systems today. It's hardly any manual intervention at times. So there are a lot of opportunities in terms of auditing that systems, analyzing that system, that data, building up models for those data analytics, as one would say in business decision making. It becomes very important, I think. So yes, there are a lot of opportunities. You are spoiled for choices, as I said earlier. But what you are going to take is something which you should delve into and not go as a herd mentality. I think make a choice that this is something which triggers my brain into. That is something will be the deciding factor finally for you all. But practice, let me tell you again, as Vipulbhai said, you are the last batch probably who has completed articleship in 3 years. There are aging firms and the opportunities are immense, I would say. Succession planning, transaction advisories, ESG and NPO consulting. I think it's a one big area emerging, NPO, especially with HNI clients. And similarly even succession planning with HNI clients, because there are people who have made a lot of money by selling the businesses built over centuries by generations also. So I think yes, there are great opportunities, but as I said in the initial stage, the guiding pole for you should be these 3 factors: enthusiasm, dedication and your value system. I think
Right.
that is where you
Yeah.
will finally go up.
So thank you so much, Sanjeev bhai. And I think there's a lot of input that has come in from the three panelists. If we were to just summarize those inputs into actionable points for all of you, there are 4 buckets that come out for your decision making. One is obviously money that everybody wants. You cannot remove that out of the picture. Second is you have to think of what is the growth potential that is available with you as an opportunity, whether it is industry, whether it is practice, whether it is entrepreneurship that you are looking at. Like sir said earlier. The third is the intrinsic factor that comes into picture, which Sanjeev bhai and Vipul bhai both said that it has to be of your liking. You have to come in with that integration and that integrity that comes with it. And the fourth factor, which I like to say, is build skills. Whatever you do, which is what they also summarized. So whatever decision in whatever form you guys want to take, try and bucket them into these 4 pockets and try and take a decision which gives you optimum outcome based on these 4 pockets. I think with this, sir, we'll allow them to ask few questions to the panelists. Guys, yeah, sure, sir. Sure, sir. My-
One more thing, possibly, I think even others can add to it. I think for all this, one very important factor, which of course not directly related to what I said earlier, which your generation especially needs to understand is to get out of your comfort zone and to try and learn to interact with total strangers. How do you interact? How do you get, talking to somebody whom you don't know? This is something very important. I miss today with your social media and so many other distractions. Your life moves from one screen to another screen to third screen to fourth screen. I mean, it's from mobile to television to laptops and whatnot screens. It moves from screen to screen to screen to screen to screen. I think you have to come out of that somewhere. You have to budget your time for that. And very important to develop skills to interact with total strangers. Maybe your Kamwali bhai to your drivers or to even any strangers that you meet in the train. And for that, a very important factor which again is you have to read not only your professional material from the journals. Of course, that's very important. I think everyone should budget at least 2 hours of Saturdays for reading those things. Every night, I think you need to read something which is not about your profession. Commit yourself to read at least 20 pages of something which is different from your regular consumption or use. Now, that could be, even fictions, that could be even newspapers, that could be even some other material that is available. Because ultimately, when you read something else, I think you absorb something else. That's part of the overall social system that we live in, and that makes easy for you to, start a conversation. And for conversation, you need to have something within you. Finally, you all will agree that we function out of a mind which has acquired knowledge. There's nothing like very, very embedded intelligence. Intelligence is only logic. Rest of all, it is acquired knowledge that we are using. I think if anyone has a different view, we can definitely have a debate offline. But finally, we all function out of our acquired knowledge, and it's very important that we keep on reading something beyond what is in need for day-to-day practice. I think how you interact with people, how you connect with people, how you understand their needs. And if you are not into reading habits, I think you can start with some fictions like reading Arthur Lee or maybe even Frederick Forsyth. Especially those who want to go into risk practice, they should definitely read Frederick Forsyth and Arthur Lee because, what is research? Maybe that book won't tell you how to do a research, but you will understand how much research would have gone into writing those things. Of course, you can also read fast-paced authors like Jeffrey Archer or somebody. But when you talk about in-depth writing, I think how you can acquire those skills, or what are the skills necessary will come out of some of this reading. Commit yourself to 20 pages per day. 20 pages in a year. How many pages you are reading then? 1,800 oddly. Let us leave 65 days for your holidays, or more than that possibly.
Yeah, they will manage.
So it's humongous material that you are reading in a year. I am not good at maths like Balchan. But I have analytical skills, so that you all have, and surely it will help you great in your life.
Thank you so much. I think we'll have few questions. If anyone wants to ask a question to any of our panelists, please stand up. Please. Yes.
Hello sir, good afternoon. A very interesting coincidence. I just finished Day of the Jackal, Frederick Forsyth. It was a fantastic book. So I wanted to ask from the point of view of merchant banking, because like many of you mentioned, as the country is going to grow, there are a lot of companies that are going to get listed and that are going to be commensurate with the growth of the nation. So if any of you can guide me, particularly in merchant banking, and if there are any postgraduate courses that the institute or WRC has that can help me update my knowledge and get into that field in particular. So thank you.
See, I'll tell you, like merchant banking is a great future. I'll tell you why. Now, like as per the in the the companies, like there are about 1,100 companies which in the last March 25, unquoted companies, their earning is more than 100 CR. The bottom line, the net profit is more than 100 CR. So there are about more than 1,000 companies which are likely to come for IPO next few years, because they are in the lines basically. Likewise, there are many companies who are between 50 to 100 CR. So I can tell you, like in next 5 to 10 years, maybe 4 to 5,000 more corporates are going to be listed in the market. You know, like because the liquidity is more in the market. Now people have faith in the market. SIP, which was very small amount before 10 years, maybe less than 1,000 crore. Now we are getting SIP of 30,000 crore every year, every month, consistently. So basically, the lot of money is coming in the market. The corporates are looking for the IPOs for their need. So basically, it has got a great story. Like it's a great future interest in the equity market, or maybe in the merchant banking. So of course you can pursue like those kind of, there are different kind of categories of merchant banking 1, merchant banker 2, 3. But actually एक बात है ना, I would like to tell you one thing here. आप जो भी काम करो ना, make a friend. I'll give example of Motilal Oswal. Motilal Oswal कैसे बना? Like there were 2 friends, Motilal जी और रामदेव अग्रवाल. You know all of them now. दोनों प्रैक्टिस कर रहे थे. प्रैक्टिस उनको एक्साइट नहीं किया, मतलब 1-2 साल प्रैक्टिस किया, बाद में लगा प्रैक्टिस में इंटरेस्ट नहीं आ रहा है, लेट अस डू समथिंग एल्स. तो रामदेव ने बोला एक काम करते हैं, लेट्स गो टू दी बीएससी मार्केट में चलते हैं वहाँ पे. एंड इट वाज वेरी डर्टी जॉब, लाइक बेसिकली ना इन 84 व्हेन दे क्वालिफाइड, तो मार्केट में जो सौदे करते थे ना, तो बेसिकली अगर आप उस सालों अगर वीडियो आप देखेंगे ना, तो जाके ऐसे मतलब धक्का मुक्की करके ना ऐसे सौदे करके आना पड़ता था. या तो बेसिकली दे स्टार्टेड 84, बट दे वर 2 फ्रेंड्स. देखो क्या होता ना, अगर आप सिंगल करोगे तो मेनी चैलेंजेस. आपका जो भी आपका बेस्ट फ्रेंड है, आपका अगर बेस्ट फ्रेंड, अगर आपका बेस्ट फ्रेंड नहीं है, दिस इज माय एडवाइस, मेक अ बेस्ट फ्रेंड. दैट इज मस्ट. लाइफ में अगर आगे बढ़ना तो अकेला आदमी आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता है. एक से अगर 2 आदमी होंगे, दे विल बिकम 11. आप 2 फ्रेंड्स बनिए, स्टार्ट टुगेदर. देखिए क्या होता है, अगर आप प्रैक्टिस और जॉब के अलावा कुछ भी करेंगे ना, देयर आर चैलेंजेस, और उसको फेस करने के लिए अकेला आदमी फेस नहीं कर पाएगा. यू विल बिकम नर्वसली, और ऐसा लगेगा अरे मैंने गलत लाइन चूज कर लिया. अगर 2 आदमी रहेंगे ना, तो कभी आप डाउन होंगे, सेकंड डे वो डाउन होगा, थर्ड डे आप पॉजिटिव हो जाएंगे. तो बेसिकली मेक अ फ्रेंड. Second, so there are many opportunities available in the market, and India is our GDP is, our market cap is now about 5 trillion. So if our GDP becomes 50 trillion, the market cap is going to be more than 50 trillion. So there are many opportunities available in the market. Please do this. I know many of my friends जो मेरे साथ में CA बने हैं, प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया, जॉब नहीं किया, सीधा मार्केट में एंट्री किया, ऐसा समुद्र में कूदते ना ऐसा कूद गए. मतलब 94 में कोई बहुत बड़ा अपॉर्चुनिटी था. आई कैन वाउच फॉर देम. उनकी जो वेल्थ है ना, मेनी ऑफ देम जिनका वेल्थ 100 CR के ऊपर है. मतलब जिन्होंने जॉब नहीं किया, प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया, दे चोज द इक्विटी मार्केट एज दर करियर. द सेम काइंड ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट नाउ. तो अगर आप में जिगर है, करेज है, गो देयर. आई एम टेलिंग यू बिकॉज देयर मेनी अदर अपॉर्चुनिटीज अवेलेबल इन मार्केट. वी रादर वी talk more about the practice in the industry. I'll tell you there are many opportunities available in the market, but make a friend. अकेले मत जाओ, 2 जाओ, 3 जाओ, साथ में एक साथ में आप swim करो. You will be able to get through. This is my advice.
Just one point to add to what sir said. You asked about what else you should study or what else you should know. If you are looking at merchant banking, you should be very clear on understanding SEBI regulations. Right. As a course, we are not so intertwined into SEBI regulations as you will be needed for a merchant banking institution.
Apart from merchant banking also, IPO preparatory work, because as rightly said, if your economy is going to grow from 5 to 15 trillions in next 7-8 years, maximum 10 years, then possibly there are a lot of people who are going to raise fund because they require money to scale up their businesses. So there are a lot of opportunity even for preparatory work for IPO in terms of financial reporting, in terms of corporate governance, in terms of getting systems in order. So I think both opportunities you can evaluate.
Next question. Anyone?
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Somebody, yeah.
Good afternoon. So, sir, basically, I just had a very general question. Suppose in your articleship, you've just done something which is very specialized, like suppose audits only or internal audits only, and if your liking goes to, when you're studying, at least theoretically, you really like the subject like direct tax, for example. So how do you come to know without doing it practically whether you should get into it or not? Like in today's day, suppose I just have an experience of IA, for example, or bank audits. How do I explore if I like something else? Is it just like a chance, or should I stick to what I've always been doing to grow further?
Vipul bhai, want to take this? Yeah.
Basically, you if you really wish to know whether you like something else, then you may have to try that. Without trying, you won't know. But you are already liking something which you are doing, then I think you stick to that. Unless you are very, inquisitive or curious to learn something more, then I think you can try. See, you all are in your 20s. You can experiment whatever you want to do till the age of 30, 35. After 35, you need to settle in life. So keep experimenting maybe for 5-10 years. Otherwise, I think you stick to what you like the most. And to know what is better for me, you have to try.
Right. And so also, suppose I choose the tax option, then is it better to go into a CA firm and learn about all the industries, or to pick a specific industry and do that?
CA firm is definitely a better option because CA firm has got all sort of clients. Right. They would be handling international tax, they would be handling domestic tax, they would be handling BFSI, they would be handling infrastructure. So I think it's always better to go to a tax firm, a CA firm, to learn tax rather than industry.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sanjeev bhai, can you share some experience of transition to top up to this question?
I think one thing, let us understand, we are all qualified accountants. Do you all agree about that? I think no second opinion about it. As an accountant, whatever we would have done, for example, if you have gone into bank, you would have seen during the course of internal audit or statutory audit, you would have evaluated lot of advances file which are coming from the businesses, right? So I think let that accounting be embedded within you. I think one thing, we can move into one service from another, one sector to another, one type of activity to another type of activity because we know accounting. Our core is accounting. You don't forget that in your life. I think then the transitions are very, very easy. I started my practice, everything. I mean, audit, tax. Then I moved into pure taxation where I was actually appearing in the tribunal for 3 days in a week. From there, I have transitioned totally to audit again. I mean, pure audit in BFSI sector and government sector. But I mean, it's very easy. I mean, it's a transition which can be managed if you are aware. I mean, you keep yourself aware and abreast with the knowledge of accounting. I think that is sufficient. Your analytical skills are, I mean, par excellence, and that's why you are here. You need to keep on exercising that. That's it.
Thank you, Simon.
If I add something like perseverance is something which is very important. Like whatever you do in life now, जो आपको दिल में लगे मुझे करना है, you have to be perseverance. It's very important. Second thing, I would like to tell 2 more things. As I said कि अगर आपको कुछ भी, if you want to take some different path, make a friend. Second, I would like to advise you, networking is very important. आप एक काम कीजिए, every day you make a habit. आपके जितने भी फ्रेंड्स हैं ना, make a list. जो आपको लगता है ना मेरे close friend है, call them every day. एक आप है ना 2 मिनट निकालिए, call one person every day. Just खाली ऐसे ही, भाई तू कैसा है? How are you? बोला कैसे फ़ोन किया? बोला ऐसे फ़ोन किया, तेरी याद आ गई. मतलब आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू, दिस विल डू वंडर्स. 100 कॉल यू मेक इन 3 months, यू विल सी वंडर्स. अगर आपको लाइफ में आगे बढ़ना है, नेटवर्किंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. द लास्ट थिंग विच आई वुड लाइक टेल यू, सी आई हैव सीन मेनी CAs लाइक मेनी ऑफ अस इन परस्यूट ऑफ एक्सेलेंस. हम लोग प्रैक्टिस में अच्छा करते हैं, वी अचीव सक्सेस, लेकिन हेल्थ इज समथिंग विच वी इग्नोर्ड मेनी टाइम्स.
Very true.
You know about Rakesh Junjunwala, what he was like a big bull. Everyone knows like how much wealth he created. Like when he died before 2-3 years back, his wealth was about 40,000 crore. But was he able to enjoy the wealth? I'll tell you no. The last 10 years he suffered very badly. So this is very important. Because health is something which is very important. Because unless your health is maintained, you will not be able to you will not be able to enjoy the success. You will not be able to, because had the Rakesh Junjunwala been fit, he would have been the, I think, he would have enjoyed his wealth as well as the golden time of the Indian economy, which is now we are forcing. So basically, apart from the everything which you do, the health keep in mind, because many of our CAs into practice or in industry, I've seen many of them are having the blood pressure, many of them are having diabetes. So make sure कि you don't basically you should be able to protect to this kind of your health. So then you will be able to get this success. You will be able to enjoy this success. Thank you so much, friends, for inviting us.
Thank you so
and,
much. We'll take
Jeff
one
and
last
everyone.
question if anyone wants to ask. Okay. Mic दे दीजिए.
Hi, good afternoon, panelists. It was a very inspiring hour for us, being amongst you all and learning not just your journeys, but the mindset that has made such a difference. Mr. Sanjay Lalan sir just said that your skill set, social skills is one of the most important skill sets that you have to develop through your journey. I agree. Chartered accountancy as a course has given us immense knowledge and it has enhanced us in those ways. But when it comes to skill sets, what is certain skill sets that you all recommend that we should develop in our formative years for our journey ahead, which would not just make us, a person who's well recognized here, but a global product, like we become a global citizen. So what is certain things that we should develop over these years, and what kind of mindset should we have as we embark on our journey forward? Following this, I'd like to ask one more question. That's it.
So I think a very important aspect of this is one is sharing. Sharing is very important, and it develops a lot of many things. For example, whatever field you are choosing, let us say auditing. writing something on auditing, joining the study circles which are there. I think today in Mumbai and elsewhere, of course, we have branches also. But in Mumbai, we, apart from WRC, we have about 60, 70 study circles which are active. Going there, speaking with the people, interacting during the discussion, also taking up a chance to make a presentation yourself sometime on some subject. Those skills, I think, it's a process, it doesn't come, in a year or something. It's a process which you'll have to undertake. I think you should definitely try to be part of some study circle or some group of professionals. Health, of course, as he said, is very important. Interacting with your strangers, friends, and most important, neglected section of our people whom we know but we don't care many times or to connect with are our relatives at the times. They also care for us. Be grateful, as I think Piyush said earlier. It's gratefulness, and you express it expressly. I think, and once you start doing this socializing, I think some of this starts building up. And for that, it is very important that you can, get into a conversation with the person who is before you. And for that, you need to, be upgraded to, or you have to come down or take yourself up according to the person who is before you. I mean, you can't talk with someone who is just a 10th pass or a 12th pass at the same level as an entrepreneur who is conducting multi-million rupee business. So both the connects, it's very important to be able to connect with different classes. I think that is something very important. And then that communication skills which become very important. In Gujarati, there is a saying, "Bole te na bor vecha hai." Of course, na bolya ma na gun. That is another thing. But yes, you have to exhibit. Finally, see, every person today, I think we live in a world, whether we like it or not, you have to exhibit your skills. And these are subtle ways whereby you write a blog, you meet someone in study circle, discuss, have a healthy intellectual interaction in that study circle. Take a chance to make a presentation in the study circle or professional bodies which are there. Even WRC gives certain amount of, or they have certain criteria to bring new speakers. I think nobody experiments like WRC does. Right. All said and done, whatever professional bodies and everything we may have, nobody experiments like study circle and WRC does in giving chance to young members and the raw talent. So take that chance. I think that's for yours for taking.
Yeah, but I think we'll give an opportunity to someone else also who had raised a hand.
Yeah.
We can take the second one offline.
So that is it. Yeah.
And to add to what he said, this is my first on-dais lecture. So that's an opportunity with WRC.